woman strolled into the gun shop with a smile, purchasing a handgun she'd never actually use. It was the beginning of a housewife's vengeful scheme. The next day, she nonchalantly shared her plans with her CEO husband, deftly demonstrating the process of loading the gun. Watching his wife's grin, the CEO had an eerie feeling that something had changed. Just a month ago, the woman was nothing more than a gentle, virtuous stay-at-home wife. Even in front of the neighbors, if the CEO simply tapped his coffee cup, she'd immediately refill it for him. The neighbors couldn't stand it, believing the CEO's behavior was disrespectful to his wife. To their surprise, the woman found it unbelievable. She stood by her husband's side without hesitation, having his back. She expressed that being able to take care of such an outstanding man was her honor. But that afternoon, she overheard the neighbors' gossip at the supermarket. The CEO had kissed a young waitress at the restaurant. The in-shock woman turned and ran, her world crumbling from this revelation. The woman drove to the restaurant herself to confirm, witnessing her husband's betrayal firsthand. She made the pitiful discovery that she couldn't righteously divorce the CEO, lacking the ability to survive on her own. The next day, the CEO continued to use the excuse of meeting clients to leave. The woman meekly begged him not to go, as it was their wedding anniversary. But the CEO left without hesitation, closing the door behind him. At that moment, the woman finally gave up completely. To avoid alarming her husband, she began plotting a vicious revenge plan. The woman drove to the restaurant, posing as a customer. She met the young, beautiful waitress, but realized none of this was the waitress's fault. The girl was not only young and attractive but also innocent and kind. The woman lied about her name, becoming good friends with the waitress. Unexpectedly, a week later, the waitress told the woman she was pregnant. The woman appeared calm on the surface, but her heart was far from tranquil. She knew how much the CEO wanted a child of his own. A year ago, the CEO and the woman had an adorable daughter. But due to the woman's momentary negligence, forgetting to close the door, their daughter ran out to play and was in a car accident. Seeing the CEO's furious reaction, the woman fell into endless self-blame. The child became her eternal pain. To keep the CEO, the woman lied about having a terminal illness with only 6 months left to live. Seeing her husband's heartbroken expression, she thought she had succeeded. Little did she know, that very evening, the waitress called her excitedly, saying the CEO had proposed to her. He claimed that in just 6 months, he could give her a happy family. This final blow finally eroded the woman's last shred of guilt towards her husband. She took off her wedding ring, glancing at their last family photo, facing the last straw that broke her. The CEO's secretary approached the woman, confessing to her. It turned out that for the past year, the secretary had been deeply tormented. On the day of the CEO's daughter's accident, she had come to the CEO's house to have an affair with him. The person who didn't close the door wasn't the woman, but the CEO's secretary. After the accident, the secretary called the CEO, feeling extremely remorseful. To her surprise, the CEO generously forgave her, turning around and blaming everything on his wife. Finally understanding the truth, the woman calmly sat on the living room sofa. The CEO didn't know yet that he was about to pay a hefty price for his actions.